What's going on, everybody? It's Go-Karts, Mini Bikes, and more, and today I am going to be changing the oil in my dirt bike and go-kart. Now, in this video, I'm only going to be changing the oil in my go-kart, and I will make a separate video on how to change the oil in a TTR 125, and that basically applies to most dirt bikes. Check a YouTube video or so for yours, but if you have a TTR, this should be the same. But anyway, what you have to do first, I'm going to show you how to change the oil in one of these Predator 212s. Mine just happened to be on a go-kart. If yours is on a power washer or something, the same principle applies. It might be a little bit different. So mine is on a go-kart, so it's going to be a lot different than if it was on a log splitter or power washer. But draining it and filling it is exactly the same. It's just how you get the oil out of yours is going to be a little bit different, because mine is solid mounted, as yours will be too. But mine, I don't feel like unbolting. Normally what I do is I unbolt it and I just tilt it all the way to the side with it off the go-kart. But today I'm feeling extra lazy, so I'm going to use the drain plug. Now, I never use the drain plug. I normally unscrew this and dump it out from there, because I lift it up and drain it into the oil pan. But like I said, today I'm being lazy, and this drain plug has actually never been broken loose on this engine before, just because I've been using it, doing the oil change with that orange cap and dumping it out by hand. Now it's worked well, but like I said, I don't feel like disassembling this whole go-kart while it's running good. So the things you're going to need are, of course, some oil, and you're going to need a wrench to undo this drain plug. I'll let you guys know what size that is once I find out. And you're going to need a oil drain pan or something like that. I'm using a paint roller thing, because the oil drain can that I have has a really small opening, and this oil, when it leaks onto the frame and everything, it gets everywhere and not just the opening. So I suggest using something wide mouth if that happens to you as well. So without further ado, let's get into this. Okay, so as you can now see, I have the garage door open, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just let the go-kart idle for some time, just to get the oil nice and hot, and this way it flows out good. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'll get back to you once that's all warmed up. Alright guys, so I got the engine just about warmed up. I believe they want you to idle it for about 5 minutes. I don't know the recommended time to let it idle so the oil flows nice. I did a few minutes just because I don't want it too hot. So what I'm gonna do is I have a towel right underneath the front, just so my front end doesn't get all scratched up, more than it is at least. And I'm going to jack the jack stand up on its highest setting and put it under here so the engine has a nice tilt to it. And then I'm going to undo this cap, and then undo the front drain plug, and we'll let the oil drain out. It's that simple, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead, get it on the jack stand, get that back plug taken out, and then I'll get back to you when I'm taking the oil plug out. Okay, everybody, so the jack stand is on its highest setting, so the go-kart is nice up and in the air. I took that back fill cap off, and then I put the pan under it, and as you can see, I put on gloves, just because I don't like getting oil on my hands, like a lot of people. But if you don't mind, you could skip the glove part. And also, I'm wearing gloves because I'm making a video and I don't want to touch my phone with oily hands. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to crack that drain plug out, and what you're going to want to do before you do that is just get a rag and wipe around the area, just so you don't get any loose dirt in your block, because that wouldn't be too good. So oh, there it is. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find a wrench, and I'll get back to you guys when I'm cracking that drain plug open. Okay guys, so I found the size, and of course it's a 10 mil like everything else on this engine. I don't like using sockets, but I couldn't find a different style of wrench that'll fit on that bolt. And as I was walking around to bring this wrench set over, I realized something, and I really need to pay attention more. I realized there's a second drain plug on this side. So I guess depending on which way your engine is tilting more, whichever way you have access to it, you could drain it from either side. And I've had this go-kart for a little over a year now, I think, and I've never ever noticed that other drain plug. You learn something new every day. Okay, so I got the socket, I put an extension on it, and as I said before, my drain plug has never been cracked open before, so it might be a little bit hard, but if your engine is fairly new or you've cracked this drain plug open before, shouldn't be too hard, but I don't know because I've never cracked this open. So we're going to see how hard it is, and I'm going to go ahead and just crack it loose, and I might have to do this with two hands so I don't slip off. But you get the idea. You just loosen that. Once it's loose, you just take it out by hand. Make sure your wrench isn't in the way so it doesn't drop into the oil or anything. Like I said, an oil pan would be ideal because if the bolt drops, it has that little net that catches it. But it's no big deal if it drips in, falls into here, because it's not really much places it can go. So I'm going to go ahead and crack that open, and I'll turn on the video when it's draining out. And I'm sorry for the lighting. I have to keep the garage door closed because there's a lot of ruckus outside. You probably can't hear it, but it's out there. And so I'm going to go ahead and crack that open and turn it back on when the oil's flowing out. Okay guys, so I just cracked this bolt out, and it was hard. It felt torqued down in there. That's how hard it was, just as a good explanation. So as you can see, if you don't use your drain plug like I don't, and you drain it by here by picking the whole engine up and dumping it out, that's probably what'll happen. It's not hard to get it out, but it is a little bit more challenging. And also the big reason why I didn't pick it up and drain it, one, because I didn't want to take the whole engine off while the whole go-kart's running good and everything, and two, I have a full tank of gas in here, so that wouldn't be fun to lift up while that oil's draining out. So as you can see, this is loose, so I am going to go ahead and thread that out. And you don't want to lose this little nylon washer because it's basically a seal for this bolt. So just go ahead and thread it out. No need to rush. And as you can see, the oil is draining. Like I said, it does make a mess. As you can see, it's going all over my frame and underneath my mounting plate and everything. But nothing that can't be wiped up. So I'll let that drain. It's actually not too dirty, but winter's over, so it's nice to do an oil change every time the winter's over. So I'm gonna go ahead and let that drain, and I'll get back to you guys. Okay, so I got all the oil drained out. I got the plug just hand tightened in, and I got all the oil wiped off. Now, if you're going for a show go-kart, I would recommend a cleaner way to do this, but me, I personally don't care, because as you can see, oil leaked out of my engine, as I explained in my last video, and it's all over the engine, the dirt, and I don't care. The dirt and dust will stick to the oil that wasn't able to get wiped up on the frame, and it is what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and snug this drain plug up. Now let me say that again. I'm going to snug it up. It looks like a bolt. It does not go tight. It goes snug because these threads will strip out very, very, very easy. So go till it can't go no more, and then just a little bit turn after that. Now, this is just my way I do it. Your way might be different. Someone else might have told you different. I just want to let you know, whatever happens to you or your engine, I'm not responsible for. This is simply just my way of doing it, and it's worked for me. So I'm going to go ahead and snug this drain plug up, and then I will be putting the oil in, and I'll tell you guys how much oil it takes when we get to that step. I should probably mention I did take the extension off of the wrench just so I don't get as much leverage. Again, that's the way I do it. You might have a better sense of strength. I do not. Okay, so I got the drain plug in, as I said before in the last clip, and I got the go-kart back on its flat ground. Now, my engine mounting plate is slightly slanted, so I can't really get an accurate reading of the oil that I put in there. I normally just put half a quart, and that's what the manufacturing manual says to do, put half a quart. So that's what I do. My engine is a bit on a slant, so I would, if yours is like that, I would try and find a way to even it out. If you want to take the engine off, go ahead. I might do that too, because I can take the engine off without having to disconnect the throttle cable and everything. So I'll probably do that as well, just to play it on the safe side. Because it's better to have a little bit not enough oil to have too much. Now this is a pretty redneck rig design. I have half of another funnel just jammed together with another funnel, just because I couldn't find the extension piece to my other one that I used to use, and that one's all filthy too. So hopefully this will work. Hopefully I won't pour oil everywhere. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour in the oil. Now, both of my things take 10W30. Now, if you're wondering why I have 3 quarts, it's because I use 10W30 oil my clutch and chain on my go-kart and also on this. So it's nice to have a 3rd quart around when I do oil changes and everything. And to oil change and everything, it lasts a long time if you use it sparingly. So again, use half a quart. I'm gonna go ahead and dump that in, and I'll get back to you when it's all done, or if I make a mess with that redneck funnel. And this bottle of oil is good for 2 oil changes on this these 212s, because they only take half a quart, so you'll be good for 2 oil changes, which is nice, so you get a good bang for your buck. Okay guys, so oil is in. I put half a quart, and I'm kind of feeling a little bit lazy, so I'm not going to take the engine off and put it on a flat ground, see how much it is. Probably do that tomorrow when I'm not doing anything, because I do have the dirt bike to still do the oil change on. So sorry this video took a bit longer than I expected, but hope this was helpful. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check me out in Garage Amino at Go Kart Me Bikes and More, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.